Hey and welcome to this live stream sponsored by PixieBrix. So nice of you to be here. And my guest today is Andrei, is a friend from the previous. We are both UiPath RPA developers. Hey Andrei.
Hey Anders, how are you?
I'm very good, thank you. And you?
Great.
It's
Having a
really
wonderful
nice.
day.
It's really nice of you to spend time with us here today. And maybe since we're both UiPath RPA developers, can you say how natural PixieBrix feel for us as RPA developers? I know you will talk a bit more about that later, but
Yeah, sure. So first of all, thank you for the invitation. You're right. When I discovered PixieBrix, I was amazed how easy it is to tap into it. At the same time, being a UiPath developer, so being focused on the low code, no code platforming, I felt that it's amazing that there are so many tools that can be used in this space, and they can do much more. So first of all, I was actually attracted by the fact that it's that easy to develop in PixieBrix. But second of all, I found it very powerful. So that's one of the points that I want to discuss with you about today.
cool. And you have a presentation for us. We'll see that in a few seconds. And maybe you can tell us where you're joining from. Actually, I know, but I think the viewers want to know where they can find you in the world.
Yeah, I'm located in Romania, the home of Dracula.
And
Located
while we
in
speak, the home of UiPath as well.
as exactly that's what I want to share. So
Oh,
I'm in Bucharest where UiPath started. So right in the epicenter of RPA.
and how long have you been using PixieBrix for?
PixieBrix is actually one of the new tools in my portfolio. Let's say like that. So I'm using it for 3 months. I think
And
something like that.
let's see what you have with us today. I will interrupt you with questions from the viewers. Iona, nice to see you again. Thanks for all your support. We are very happy to have you here. Iona is also from Romania, so that's pretty close to you, Andre.
Bună, Iona. Bună being hello in Romanian. So yeah,
So
great.
if you start by sharing your screen, then I will interrupt you with questions. And you told me prior to this session that you talk a lot, so I will just.
I get that
We love
pretty
that.
often.
We love
Yeah.
that.
So
It's
I will share the screen, but I just wanted to start first with a short story. So just to give you an idea about how why I really enjoy PixieBrix and why I started working with the tool. As you've already mentioned, we both have a lot of experience with UiPath. So we are in the automation field for quite a time now. At the end of the day, we're doing it just because it makes a lot of business sense, and it helps a lot of people in freeing time, in making things better, in giving them a job that they can love at the end of the day. And that's, I feel, everything that needs to be about here in the automation space. And then when I actually encountered PixieBrix, it was quite amazing to see it. There is a tool that can do part of what UiPath is doing and actually complement part of those activities, but in a very fast way, or actually faster than I was used to. With RPA, which on the other hand, it's very fast compared with anything else in the IT industry. So when we've started thinking about how we can use it in Conectys, in the company where I'm leading the digital team, we realized that there are a lot of scenarios where people do stuff that needs to be augmented by technology, but in many of the situations, RPA it's not necessarily the easiest way to do it, or the fastest way to do it, or the most robust way to do it. And that's how I encountered PixieBrix. And the showcase that I want to discuss today, it's something that we felt that it's useful. And it's, in a nutshell, I'll try to explain it and then share my screen. It's an automation that helps agents to translate different text in different languages. So basically, people take a look at IDs, and those IDs are in languages that they don't usually speak, and they need some tool to translate that. And of course, that's pretty easy to do when you have text in front of you, but when you don't, and you need to OCR, or for the ones that are not so technical, optical character recognition, then you are looking at an automation that needs to compile or need to consist in more than one technology.
So what you're saying here, Andrei, just to interrupt you, you're saying that you have actually implemented PixieBrix at your job?
I'm just now working at a use case that I feel will be very useful in the space.
Cool.
Perfect. So I will not ask if you see my screen, because I know that that's the most asked question. So I will try to avoid it. I will just figure it out by myself. But just for you to know, I'm I'm sharing now.
I can see your screen, but you left your silhouette. You were there in the lower right corner just before, but that video left, so we can't see you now. But that
so you cannot see me.
No, actually, what you did here was that you made your desktop present, and then you disappeared.
Okay, perfect. So let me try it again. I will share my screen, but in the traditional way, I was using standout option from Teams. So maybe that's why. Then let's try the not content only standout. Second try. Can you see me now?
No, you're coming in 2 seconds, but that's fine. But your picture disappears.
Okay, perfect. Then let me try the last time, and we'll start. Perfect. Not sure if you can see me now, but
now you're up in the traditional way.
Traditional way. Sometimes traditional is better.
Yeah.
Perfect. So let me explain a bit what I was trying to describe in words. So let's imagine the process that I've just, the problem that I've just explained, and let's take a look at how a solution may look like. So if we want to translate images, and I will do something in parallel, because that's an action that we can do with UiPath as well. That's an action that we can do with many tools actually at the end of the day. But let me show you how I solved it with PixieBrix. So first of all, let's have a need. So we need to translate documents. We will need to be able, with the automation that we are building, with the tool that we are building, whatever, maybe it's a robot, to retrieve some data from user. So most probably there are different languages that we need to translate. So we need to ask users, hey guys, let us know what you need to translate. English to French, French to English, Russian to English, whatever. So the automation that we are going to build needs to be able to retrieve data. It also needs to be able to do screenshots. So that's one part. It needs to be able to do OCR. And for the ones that are working with automation, you know that that's not a small thing. So it's something that you need to work a bit to build. Then it needs to be translation. So we already use 2 API services, because we're not going to do it with PixieBrix, the actual OCR, the actual translation. We're just going to use APIs in order to be able to go and fetch information, send and retrieve information that's useful for us. Of course, we need to find a way to showcase that to the user back, so present results.
Can you tell us what program here, what web application are you drawing this in? Can you tell us a bit about this?
Yes, actually that's diagrams. It comes from Google. And it's a very useful tool because, first of all, it's free. Everybody can use it without a charge. And the second of all, it's very powerful. So you can actually do, let me show you. I will go on the PixieBrix website.
And this is actually a good place to PixieBrix website. If you want to install PixieBrix, it's free. You can just click the sign up with Google here, and you are going in 2 minutes, I will say, or maybe 5.
Exactly. So as you've seen, I've just took an image from PixieBrix and added to my flow. Very easy to use, a lot of options, but that's not the purpose of our discussion. So actually, yeah, a lot of blocks that we need to take care of in a traditional automation. How long do you think that this will take you to build in UiPath? Just a rough estimation. I know that it depends on many things, but
if I had the design and I had to figure out the process myself, or did I have the process description and everything with me?
Everything with you. Just build it, but make sure that it works.
Probably a week or something, if I need to make sure that all accesses work properly and everything works.
Exactly. So although you're a bit faster, probably for me it will take a bit longer.
Then 10 days.
You're right.
I don't know, but a long time.
Yeah. So it's much longer time, and of course, when you need to make sure that this works for a lot of users, it gets a bit more complicated. But let me show you what I was able to build in PixieBrix in less than 20 minutes. With the help of the PixieBrix community, which is a great asset on its own,
Can you
when you need to build something. But yeah.
And where do you engage the most with the PixieBrix community? You will say, where do you get the help from?
I'm on Slack, so I'm doing it on Slack.
Maybe I can. It's funny you asked. I have the address here for the PixieBrix community Slack. I'll post that in the chat, and you and I will both be there, along with even more skilled PixieBrix developers than the two of us. I mean, all the whole product team is there, ready to help you. So you can just join this Slack, and I think it's a really nice community. That will be in the chat, but and keep going on, Andrei. It's really great to see.
Perfect. Yeah. So let me really show you what was built. So. I'm looking now at an ID. Let's assume that I don't speak French, and I'm actually not familiar with the language, the symbols, whatever. I just need to understand something from this document. Not sure what's written here at the top, so I will just use PixieBrix by right-clicking on my mouse and then using the translate an image action that I was building. And now you see the pop-up. It's actually a form that gets exactly what we've tried to do here, retrieves data from user. And it asks me what's the language of the image, what's the target language, what I want it to be translated in.
And can I ask you, did this got detected automatically, or did you fill this drop down in with French and English?
You will see that in a bit. I pre-populated that with the capabilities of the API that I was using. Sure. But I will present all the bricks in a bit. Just I'm fascinated about how this works, and we'll showcase it a bit, and then look at how it was built. So now I've just cropped the part that I'm interested in. That's another key element. So think about, maybe I was just looking at the contract. I don't want to translate everything. It takes time to go through everything. So I just need a part. I know that, for example, clause number 2 is the one that I'm interested in all contracts, all languages. I'm using this image cropper. So it's amazing to have something like that in the form. I also have a preview just to make sure that I'm looking at the right things. And then once I press submit, now I'm triggering the activities in the backend that I was discussing about. So I'm doing the actual OCR. I'm doing the translation, and now I have the results on the right-hand side. So République Française, it's actually translated to French Republic, which is amazing. Again, considering the fact that this was built very fast, and it really works. But let's take another example. Let's make it a bit more interesting. So I will use an Arabic, maybe Saudi ID. Let's try a Saudi ID. I'm not speaking Arabic at all. I'm not even able to understand what are those characters. But let's try to see if this image, it's something that PixieBrix can work with. Looking at the image, I can only assume that this may be the name of the person. But again, I don't have the ability to read it. So let's ask Pixie. Translate with OCR. Language should be Arabic, and let's try to see the name. Perfect. Oops. submit. What do you think about that?
That's amazing. So you got his name,
Isn't
Tariq, been so very long name, longer than mine, but it's amazing. And
Yeah.
And that works with every driver's license or ID card here that you have tried with.
Actually, let me show you a twist. It works not only with what we see here. So let's try something different. Let's take a look at Japanese text. It doesn't really matter what it is. Let's see. Let's see what's this. Okay, so that's a video. That's actually not an image. We should choose a different example. Actually, let's try to stick with this. It's an actual image. So it's an actual video. So let's see what PixieBrix will be able to do if we choose Japanese to English. So again, we are just in the page, opening PixieBrix in the browser without looking at a document or an image or anything, trying to OCR Japanese to English, submit. Fingers crossed.
And to you, viewer, if you just joined here, this is Andrei. Andrei is showing us some very cool stuff with OCR and PixieBrix using the APIs. We will see everything he does, and we can do the same after this session. We will give some useful link in the chat. So thanks for joining. And if you want to help the stream, if this stream helps you, you can give it a thumbs up. That will improve the reach of this stream so we can get out to more and make more of these streams. Oh, thank you, everyone. And back to you, Andrei.
Thank you. So yeah, actually it worked. And I think it's amazing the fact that we've built a solution that helps us to translate documents. But actually it's a much bigger thing than that. We are looking at a tool that's able to OCR whatever it's on the browser screen and then translate that all together. So only imagine how many use cases this has, and cannot stress enough how fast it was to build. But let's take a look under the hood. Let's see what's actually here.
And we have another question in the chat, Andrei. That's to you.
Yeah, please.
That's from a Todd Schiller. He asks, would this work with embedded PDFs too? Cool, it works with video frames.
Yes, of course. If you imagine, if it works with video, it works with everything. So as long as you have it in the browser, and you can open PDFs with Chrome for sure, then if you're able to select it and it has a quality that's readable for an OCR, but you've seen that there are some that are not that good. Let's actually try maybe a Russian one that doesn't have, to answer the question, I will try to open one that's not that good of an image like the ones that we've used.
And
not
Andrei,
sure if this.
Andrei,
Yeah,
this is so exciting. I'm almost taking a picture of my Danish driver's license and sending that to you so you can try with that one as well. But I think we should stick with the Google images.
Yes, we can actually expose your information all around the internet if you want. But if that's not, let's see. This image, it's not a bad image, but it's not the classical.
And just to understand, so can you go one step back, just to the before this form? Can you press cancel here?
Yep.
So when you get a picture here, how do you do to get this menu up and to send it to the OCR process?
Mm-hmm. So I right click, I choose PixieBrix, and one of the actions that I have active on my browser at this point, it's translate an image with OCR, the solution that we're discussing about. So I just click on that, and it automatically pops up the form. Let's see what's this text about. Yeah, not a great quality of the document, but let's hope it. And it also has text on the background, so not sure if it will work. I would be amazed to have it. Man, it works. Third Secretary of Embassy of United States of America. So yeah, I feel that this answered the question that we received on the chat. So it works with if it works with this low quality image, maybe so for sure it will work with the PDF.
So great question, Todd, and
thank you.
Please let the questions come for Andrei. We always love to engage with you out there. So thank you.
Perfect.
And so this is what are we looking at now?
We are now looking at the actual build that's making everything possible. So I've just opened the PixieBrix builder, the menu where I've built this, and looking at the blocks, the bricks that are composing the automation that I've did. So as you can see, the entire process that's here, retrieve data from user, do a screenshot, OCR, translate, and then present results. It's actually it's actually represented by those blocks. So the context menu gives me the ability. So I've used the context menu just to be able to trigger in a way the PixieBrix automation. As you've asked, how do you start it? How do you start it? This is how I started. I just use a right click.
Cool. And to the viewers out there, if you want to get started with PixieBrix, I made a guide just to install PixieBrix and to create your first flow, and then you can copy Andrei's way more advanced flow. The link is in the description of this video. That will teach you everything to get started with PixieBrix. Thank you, Andrei. You can just continue.
And what I think it's important for our viewers to understand is that nothing from those bricks that you see here was built by me. I've just used bricks that are already available and modified them to fit my need. But when I say modify, I'm saying that I've just used some other options that they already have. So it's not me reinventing the wheel.
Man, Andrei, I just realized that I called this stream PixieBrix and APIs, but if I call this PixieBrix and OCR, and you could view this, you can present this demo, we would have got like double up on the viewers, or maybe 3 times, because this is very, very exciting. So thank you for presenting this to us, and sorry for interrupting again. It was just very impressive.
I'm glad that you feel it this way. I also did, so that's why I'm so excited about it. So, context menu, just a block to make this automation available at my right click. Then screenshot tab. Not much to discuss about it. It's just a tab, a brick that builds the screenshot. In order to do a screenshot of the screen, I only needed to drag and drop the screenshot tab. Nothing more. Nothing to set up here. It took me 10 seconds. Show a form. So I needed to get input from a user. Think about building it in UiPath. I don't say it's hard. It makes sense, but it takes much more than that. So now looking at the form, as I've told you, I have here on the right-hand side my preview of the form. I can very easily add new fields. I can very easily, so actually adding a new field is just like that. If I want to play a bit with what's happening here, so for example, in this field, you've asked me, and now I'm answering to your question. I've used the dropdown and added the language by hand here.
Okay. Yeah.
I made this field to be required. I don't want the users to be able to cancel it, and that's it. Moving to my next field, the target language. So let's take a look at what are the actual options. So I can ask for emails, I can ask for websites, files, date and time, numbers, drop down. Even there is an option for image crop, which made available the possibility to extract only part of those documents, which I feel that it's very useful in a lot of scenarios. Any questions until now?
Yes, we got a question from Iona. Thanks, Iona, for showing up and giving us this question. And since you are a UiPath expert too, then we can have this one. In case of invoices, PixieBrix or RPA document understanding, what do you think?
In case of invoices, Pixie or RPA document understanding.
I can say what I think.
Please.
Where both has is strange because UiPath has its strengths in document processing, but we can use PixieBrix for if we find these documents online, we can use PixieBrix, and we can see here with the OCR, we can send them to UiPath, right, and let UiPath process them there, or what would you say?
Exactly. So first of all, we can use both. Second of all, UiPath has a very big advantage as being a platform that has endless capabilities. And when you're discussing about invoices, you may discuss about different other platforms that are not necessarily available in a browser. And in that scenario, for sure, I would use UiPath only. However, things are changing. We see the evolution through browser. The browser now replaces and the cloud makes it possible for the browser to replace in the future a lot of functionalities. And that's why I say that for the moment, if we are discussing about apps that are outside of the browser, I would use UiPath, but for sure I will take a look at how I can do it with PixieBrix, because in a couple of years things may change, or there may be options to integrate them both with a higher rate of success.
Yeah, and I know that I talked with it was Todd on Monday in that session. You can find that here on the channel as well. But he told me that you could use PixieBrix for sending items to an orchestrator queue, for example. So you find something that you want to process, that could be stock quotes or whatever, or receipt or something, and then you can send it back to orchestrator and let UiPath handle the rest of the process there.
Yep. Actually, even what we were building now, the translations can be sent to UiPath. So everything, it's a perfect integration. Actually, Pixie and UiPath are partners. So as you can imagine.
I'm not sure. Maybe Todd can correct me in the chat, but I think PixieBrix is partnered with, as you say, UiPath and then Automation Anywhere. So the two biggest RPA tools they partnered up with. So.
Yeah. Perfect. So this is the form block. I've just drag and dropped it, modified it, simple as you've seen, added some, now parsing some data. So just for the ones that actually use UiPath, or the ones that are a bit more technical, parsing data in PixieBrix is just as easy as dragging this here and modifying two options. And then you can use,
And for those of us that might not know what this means, what does a parse data means? What do we do here?
So what we actually get when we are retrieving from in a program, we get chunks of data. But in many situations, we need to play with bits of that chunk and only parts of it. So that's what parsing does. It helps us to take from a big chunk of data parts that we are going to use in different stages of our process.
Cool.
Is that making any sense?
For sure. Thank you.
Perfect. So then I'm just setting some page states. I will use them. That's another a bit programming part. So I'm using two blocks to set a state for the page, just to be able to use it and trigger some activities with that. So those two blocks are doing exactly that, setting states. And then the two bits that are the most interesting ones are first the OCR one, which is a HTTP request, an API call. And I'm using, because that's another question that you've made at the beginning. So what I'm using OCR Supreme, which is a service that's built in PixieBrix.
And how much? That sounds very expensive. How much is that?
That's actually not expensive. You can play with OCR Supreme without any cost attached. Of course, don't take that for granted. There may be some limitations. I'm not very up to date with the actual cost and the volume that you can play with without cost. That's an information that we need to check. But
But we can use all these if we want to play around and make these OCR examples, like taking these driver's license, ID cards, PDFs. We can play around with that for free, right?
Of course. And it's, as you can imagine, it's not something that's expensive either way. So it's pennies, if it is something. But I just don't I don't want to share any information that I'm not 100% certain of. That's what I'm avoiding to say that it's free.
Cool.
Easy to integrate, whatever. So it's just HTTP request, the URL, the service that I'm using, what's the method. So it's post is not get, then properties and values, and that's it. Simple as and clear as you can see it. Then how about translation, which is actually another API call, but it's already a brick that you find it under the translate name. It uses Google Translate and very easy to set up.
And when you say very easy to set up, I remembered when I did a video with the Google Translate. Do I need to go into the Google API and do the things there, or can I set it automatically up here from PixieBrix?
So it's actually a block that's already automatically set up. You need to make sure that you say what's your desired output and what's the query and where you're taking the data from, and that's it.
Cool.
Everything else already done by PixieBrix.
Cool.
So that's the entire automation. That's everything that happens in behind. The only thing that remains at this point from the flow that we've seen. So we retrieve data from user. We have the screenshot. We have the OCR. We already did the translation. We need to present data. So what we're actually trying to do is build this view here.
And to the viewers that's just joined, Andrei is building an automation that can, with PixieBrix, that can do OCR recognition on images that random like ID cards. And can you show us just what you do, just to the viewers that came in, and then we can see the way to present the results afterwards, Andrei?
Of course.
Because
so
let's
amazing. Try again.
So we have an image here, and Andrei just right click, and then he get this up here, and let him show you.
Yeah, so I'm looking at a Russian image without speaking any Russian, choosing the language of that image, setting up the target language, then using a cropper to subtract only part of this text, and then with a click of a button, I'm doing the OCR of the text and then the translation as well, and presenting it on the right-hand side of the screen as directly a translated text.
That's impressive. Thank you. And,
yes,
and sorry for interrupting you. We can go on to presenting the results. I just wanted to see it again.
Perfect. Yeah, sure. So now you've seen everything that got into the build of this, and if you feel that that's so too little of an effort, you are perfectly right. It wasn't something that was built hard. You have, and there's maybe if you can, after this we can share the step-by-step example so our viewers can go and build this on their own.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
And
it could be nice to build this afterward. I'm sure I will do it, and I think a lot of the viewers will do it as well. So if you want to share it afterward, it will be very appreciated.
Of course. Actually, it's already on PixieBrix's collection of processes, and if you go there, you'll find I'm discussing for users. So if anybody goes there, you can already find a lot of use cases similar to this one that may help with some real business issues that you may have. We have this ready. We only need to show it to the user. Showing it to the user, it's as simple as this. The sidebar panel, very, very small brick. We get the state from here.
Yeah.
And once we have that, we are rendering, and that's it. You have the information as we've seen on the right-hand side with the translation. So cannot stress enough, very easy to build, very fast to do it. and amazing results.
And what I don't understand here is the send task to a UiPath bot. Is that starting the translation results here?
It's actually part of the name may be a bit, and I forgot to change that. I was building. I started to build a brick to send the task to a UiPath bot, but then I stopped at this point. But I'm further thinking about improving it with sending those translations directly to a queue, because I have a very specific business process that may get some benefits from that.
Cool. But what I was asking about is this one send task, is that starting? So how did the translation results? How did that start?
So how the translation?
You have these two here. You have the send task to a UiPath bot, and then you have the translation results. How is the what will trigger the translation results?
Okay, so what will trigger the translation results? So actually, we have this show sidebar.
Okay.
At the end of this block.
Yeah.
That will then trigger this, and the sidebar panel will get activated by the state that I'm setting up in here.
That is really nice.
Yep.
And
then render.
And you asked me in the beginning how long this would have taken me to build in UiPath, and I said roughly maybe a week or something. And you said that was fast. How long would you say that this took you? All in all?
It's actually when I've started working on it, didn't take me more than 20 minutes, maybe half hour. I could have done it much faster than that, but needed to put a bit of thinking in it, and I also needed the help of the community. So since the community is very responsive, and I had the chance to get answers immediately, it was a very fast build.
That's really nice.
A lot of the ideas and a lot of the blocks were built with the help of much smarter people than me.
Cool. It's really nice, Andrei, and I think that when we see this and how easy it is, it's very accessible and to start building yourself. And I'm very curious too, and that's what caught my attention with PixieBrix. I would say that it was so easy to create automation that increased my productivity in my daily life. I'm obsessed with that. So
yeah, and I feel that there are endless use cases only for this one, but for the ones that are looking at this video and don't really have a clearer idea about PixieBrix, this is only one use case in which you can use it. It has so many other applications, or it can be applied in so many other ways. Then it's so versatile. It's actually amazing.
And do you think that you will be able to apply this at your job and actually use these, for example, this automation? Will you be able to profit from that?
I'm sure that this will be done. So it's actually a use case that it makes very much sense. It saves at the end of the day a lot of time for our colleagues, and that's what we love about what we're doing, because at the end of the day, technology it's nice, but it may be a hobby, but when it really helps people and it really solves some business needs, it becomes a passion, and everybody has something to gain from that, and that's what we are aiming for.
And I know that you are an RPA developer here, and so am I. Probably most of the viewers those are RPA developers as well. Would you say that there's something difficult about PixieBrix when we come from an RPA background, or was everything easy to figure out?
Yes, it's pretty easy to figure out. It has some particularities, of course, but it has a wonderful community that can help you with that. Of course, at the end of the day, it's a different tool, But I feel that if you already have the experience with building RPA, then switching to this should not be a problem.
Cool. And especially when you have the community in the backhand, I posted a link in the chat to the PixieBrix community. So if you want to get help, you can get the help there. And we got some questions in the chat, but I think that's more to the PixieBrix staff, or maybe I can pass them to you. What code is begin PixieBrix JS? I'm not sure what that. Can you rephrase, Iona, or do you understand that?
No, actually, I suppose she's referring to JavaScript, but yeah, I think that better Todd or somebody else from PixieBrix community to help us with an answer there. I'm not that.
No, I think we'll pass that on to Todd,
expert.
and then Iona asks, and thanks for all the questions, Iona, and thanks for showing up. Is it an enterprise edition of PixieBrix? Which licenses and so on? I can say for my part, that's a free license I'm using. I think Todd actually told us that up to a team up to 5 that is free to use, and after that it's like $10 a month or something, but free to use for all us developers. So that is really nice.
And it's also, yeah, I can confirm it's the, as far as I know, the licensing, it's not different in terms of the capabilities of the tool. It's only the commercial part when it comes to companies. But what I'm using here is the one that you all have access to.
So we can build it ourselves. And can we just see? Can you just see it in action, like 2 or 3 times for those of us that wants to that thinks it's so cool?
Sure. So
can we try with a Danish ID card? Can we see if that works? Or that you haven't configured that language, right?
Let me check that actually.
And you shouldn't do it if it's not.
Why not? Let's break it. Let's find the what's the or actually, yeah, let's see. Pixie translate.
No, Danish is not
there. Not here.
So so these languages we can try with that, but you can easily, if you are a developer or a viewer here, we can easily add languages. So when I come home, I can add another language, right?
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course. So let's
try.
Take what other language would you like, or maybe another ID or something?
Or maybe a video. That was quite impressive, I think.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking about. A video with Russian text video.
So what we're doing here is that we're finding a video with Russian in. That's all English. That was a board there. Yeah, there's a video with.
Actually, it's an image maybe, but let's see if video surveillance sign in. No, it's just a video surveillance sign, but whatever. Let's see. It also has the tricky part with this one. It has a watermark, so not sure if it will work, but it's worth a trial. Russian to English. Submit.
So what we're doing here is that we're translating the first word of this sign and see if it works.
Ongoing.
That was the first part. Then we just need the second word. Do you think we can grab that? There's a watermark in it.
Let's see. It seems that it has its own limitations, taking into account the fact that there are 2 texts that can be clearly seen here on the image. Let's try it again. Maybe this time also choosing the language, because I always forget to do that.
And Todd is saying in chat that OCR Supreme does support Danish, so we could build this in Danish and I could build it afterward and make sure that this will work in my language as well.
Yeah, so it works. As you can see here, it's video surveillance.
Wow. How did you? Was it just to zoom a little bit more in and have the?
No, it was actually when I pressed translate, I didn't select the image language. I left it in French. So it was trying to translate
From French.
To, yeah, French to English. That's why it didn't work.
That's very impressive.
It really is.
Yeah. So then, so if you want to add more languages to your code, how do you do that? Can you quickly show us that?
Yeah, sure. So going back to the brick.
And say that I wanted to add Danish. That could be. So if I wanted to have yeah. Here the image
Going
language.
Back here. Going back. Let's see. So we have the first of all, we need to modify the form. And another one.
So now we're adding a new language to the viewers out there. We'll see if Danish will work.
Or it's Den.
I'm not sure it's DEN or Dan. I think it's
both. And the target language should be English. So no, actually, let's do it. If we do it, then DEN. Then save. Changing the extension. Let's try to see
if we can find some Danish image.
Danish ID.
That's Finnish. You should take the one of the red ones.
Red one. This one seems a bit too hard to understand because of what's. Let's give it a try.
And we have a chart is saying that it should be DAN. That was actually what you wrote, wasn't it, in PixieBrix?
Yep.
Yeah. And we have a quest for you afterwards to change it to Romanian. So it's
So DAN or DEN?
DAN. That's at least what Todd is saying here.
Submit handling context. Okay, so I did not modify everything that I was intending to in the brick. So let's go back and inspect what actually went wrong. So we have the context menu, nothing to modify here, showing a form. We have them here, both. Parse the data. Nothing to change, no need HTTP request. It's done exactly the same as for any other language. The translate part. So the OCR has it. Does it have? For sure, it has the translate. But is it the same? Okay. Maybe we're doing something wrong at the translation level. Save it once more, and then let's close the browser. Let's open it once more. Always a restart works better. Too small.
Todd is saying that you could try running it with the page editor open to see which step that fails.
That's correct.
And I think this is the most exciting part, not that, of course, it needs to be fixed, but to see how you think and get into your head. I think that what you're trying to fix here.
Okay, so we know that the problem comes with the OCR. then most probably the issue that we have here, it's with the fact that it's unable to retrieve because of the what's happening in behind. So let's search for Danish text on images and try a better quality one to see if
that one works.
Yeah.
It looks all like Danish. Yeah, that's Danish.
I'm trying now for a much better quality, just to make sure that we are on the safe side when it comes to language, and that's out of the question. So it's not a matter of this one. New tab. Let's give it a try, even though it's Pixie translate. Let's see here. Let's take one row, and not from French, but from Danish to English. Submit. I'm doing something wrong. What I would do at this point, actually, in order to make sure that I'm solving it as fast as possible, I will try to open the Slack community that you already have in the chat, and I will try to post the issue there just to make sure that I'm not missing anything, and I'm giving it a faster try. And so of course, I will try to do it on my own.
That's actually a great advice to the viewers out there. You can go to, if you face any problems with anything in PixieBrix, you can just go to the Slack. There will be competent people helping you for the helping, because they're nice people. So that's a really nice place to be. But maybe we should just see it for one of the languages that we know that actually works, like Portuguese, English, or something like that, right?
Right. So should we check again for
Russian?
Russian. Let's try Russian.
Because that was so hard to read, so for me at least, and so I figured that could be. So now we're trying to translate the Russian IDs here, or images.
Just hope it's not something bad that we're translating.
Yeah. I don't think Google will show it that high in results if it's that bad. Then I'm quickly ending the YouTube stream, Andrei, and you know where to find me afterwards if this is something bad.
Okay. So let's see, Russian to English. Submit this.
The guy is only interested
in 20.
Yeah.
Which is actually a 2D, and now the OCR it's also so. Yeah, it actually works, and as you can see, it also took the quotes.
It's probably something with the Danish language then.
Yeah, or yeah, something that I did wrong. I will inspect that and get back with a comment to this video for later reference.
That was so cool to see, Andrei, today, and thanks for taking your time to join. And if we need to find you, where can we get in contact with you, would you say?
So yeah, I'm also developing a YouTube channel, so you can take a look at some of my work on YouTube, mostly related to UiPath and also PixieBrix.
If you give us the name, I will display it right away here. What is it called?
It's actually, yeah, it's my name. The channel has my name, and I will send you a link if you can include that would be helpful.
Of course I will, but I will also show it here. I will drag this one in here. So this is Andrei's channel. You will find both UiPath and PixieBrix videos in here. So that's definitely a place to check out. And will you, do you think that for this driving license ID flow, do you think you'll make a guide for that? So if we want to copy you here, we can find that on your YouTube channel?
Yeah, sure. So I'm planning to develop this once more, but in a very detailed manner, so we can follow along the video if you don't like the text.
Cool. So to everyone out there, if you want to copy what Andrei did here today, Andrei will be producing a video very soon. I'll post a link to his channel in both the description, and I will do it in the comments as well. So you should definitely go follow Andrei here, or subscribe as it is called here on YouTube. So
that's a big thing for me, Andres, because part of the reason why I started to share content was inspired by your request. So it means a lot for me.
Thanks a lot, Andrei. That means a lot to me that I could have inspired you. I think it's a great way to, whether you are developing PixieBrix or UiPath or both, is to have a YouTube channel where you can actually share things and get better at things. And that's what I did in the beginning. You can even scroll back to my old videos. Those ones were not that good, but I practiced and got better and better. And I think that's a great way to do it.
Amazing. Thank you very much for the opportunity.
So Gokul joined, and we have some comments for you, Andrei. Gokul says, this is great. Thank you for the inputs. And Iona says, thank you so much, Anders. Nice to meet you, Andrei.
Nice to meet you.
So, and Todd, hopefully I didn't give you the wrong language code. So we'll know who to come after if the language code was wrong here. So again, Andrei, thanks so much for showing up. I know that you and I will speak a lot of the times in the future. So until we see each other, bye-bye. And to the viewers, this was Andrei. I hope you will join the stream tomorrow where Henrik will join. And we'll see you at the same times. And thank you, PixieBrix, for sponsoring this. Bye-bye, everyone.
Bye, everybody. Thank you.
That was really good.